Hey, so I just bought a Ford Focus RS, and it has this really horrible license plate bracket that goes on the back of the car. I actually took this off and I installed one from AutoZone. I wasn't really happy with it. This one I really wasn't happy with. The dealership went ahead and put in some self-tapping screws, and the screws went through. There's not much room here on the back, and it ended up going through onto the paint. Really unhappy with that. However, so I basically went looking for a replacement for this really flimsy bracket. Apparently the RS was made in Germany, and the two holes that it actually mounts to on the back of the car are set up for the European license plate standard. Well, what I thought was, well, maybe there's some other car that has the same sort of license plate bracket that I could use. Turns out that there is. BMW actually has a similar two-hole system on the back of their cars. And I bought an aftermarket BMW license plate holder. It's not exactly going to line up. In this case, you can see here that it's once I line up the holes, it's probably going to be, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch high once it's actually mounted. We'll see what it actually looks like when I get it on the car and see if it works. If not, I can always drill some extra holes up here and get it in roughly the right spot. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get this on the car and what it looks like. Okay, so this is the AutoZone frame that I got, bracket that I got. It's really very cheap plastic. I was afraid that I was going to crush it here when I was putting on these screws. These screws aren't actually tapped. You're supposed to use self-tapping screws for these and I wasn't really happy with that solution. So I'm just going to take this thing off and put on my own thing. Up here, you can actually see where the dealership just drove those screws right into the paint. Thank you very much. Hoping that, I'm going to go ahead and get some touch-up paint to fix those things, but yeah, not really happy with them for doing that. All right, this is coming off. All right, so this is where the stock bracket lines up. Bracket sits just a little bit below the camera. The license plate actually goes behind the camera a little bit there. So we'll see how the BMW plate lines up. So here's the BMW one. It's definitely going to be behind the camera a little bit more. Might be all right though. If not, I can always drill some more holes. I would put it down below it. But we'll see what it does with the holes that are drilled into it. Looks like they actually were off center a little bit here for the first one when they re-drilled it. That's all right, I don't mind. I think that the stock holes in this frame are not going to be big enough to fit the screws that have to go into the car. So we'll see what I can do about that. I'm probably going to have to enlarge those holes. Alright, as I suspected, these holes are not going to fit. Nope, not going to fit. So I'm going to go ahead and drill those holes out a little bit. This is the stock screw, or actually this is not the stock screw. This is a screw that I got at Ace Hardware. Bolt. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to need some longer ones to go into the car because those holes are actually recessed a bit there. And I am also going to drill these holes out and so it'll fit these bolts, and we'll get it bolted up to the car. All right, so I've bolted up the BMW license plate bracket to my Focus RS. The bracket itself is much better quality than either the AutoZone bracket that I had or the Ford bracket, which is really flimsy. It had grommets here that were slightly too small for the bolts that I need to use. You need to use M6 by 1.0 thread, and I had to enlarge the holes by about 1/4 inch, to 1/4 inch with a 1/4 inch drill bit. Pop out the grommets before you start to drill them, because otherwise you're going to probably heat it up and melt the plastic. On top of that, they're not very secure in there. It'll probably just start to spin in the plastic, and it's just going to make a mess. You're going to have a bad time. So pop them out, drill it out by using a 1/4 inch drill bit. You're not going to end up in the same situation that I did with the original frame, which was with the screws going through the back of it to hit the paint and scratch up the paint, because these actually have foam pads in the back of them that will prevent that from happening. Anyway, I'm really happy with this. I'll put the link to buy the frame in the video notes, and hey, thanks for watching. Hope this helps out a bunch of people.